Hello guys and welcome back to the channel for another weekly What I Watched. You may notice by the runtime it's substantially shorter than usual because I have watched not very much this week. So I'm just doing it on my sofa, not using Letterboxd because there's so little I've watched. I've literally watched a series, a movie and half of a film because I was so tired I couldn't finish it. So the main thing I want to talk about this week, and I'm not going to in major detail, which I probably would because it was awesome, for a reason, is the new series to hit Netflix called Made. Now, I'm actually doing a collab about this with someone else in the YouTube community. I'm not going to say who that is or spoil anything, but that should be coming up soon. I'm going to be recording that tomorrow. So what is Made about? It is a new series following a character called Alex, who is experiencing marriage problems, domestic violence, but not in the sense of physical abuse, more emotional abuse and control, and also, like having items thrown at her, feeling intimidated, having her life generally controlled. This series is about this young woman who has a young child also, who she takes away in the middle of the night to escape this husband. It is a very down-to-earth true story of the struggles that women go through when trying to escape partners like this, especially with children. She has to support herself, she has to find a job, hence it's called Maid. This is what she ends up doing, cleaning houses. We see relationships that develop with clients along the way. So the actress that plays Alex is called Margaret Qualley. Her real life mother is none other than Andie MacDowell, who's been in movies for years. She plays her mother in this series also. It's something that when she was cast, she actually suggested her mum for the role, and thankfully they really liked that idea, and she was cast, mother and daughter were cast as mother and daughter. This series is amazing. As I say, I would go into an awful lot more detail about how I felt about it and different aspects of it, and how it relates to just life generally. I think most women have experienced some form of violence from partners. I'm no exception to that. And just watching this as a mother and just the struggles that she went through trying to provide and do the best thing for her daughter, and it really makes it clear to you why so many of these women actually return, and why they put themselves through what they do. But I would thoroughly recommend if you haven't watched Made. As I say, I do want to talk a lot more about it, but I don't really want to sort of like take away from the collab I'm going to be doing about it, which I will put up on my community wall for you when it's been done. But yeah, please check out Made, folks. I give it a 4.5 out of 5. Really, I don't know that I shouldn't have given it a 5 out of 5 because there is absolutely nothing wrong with this series. The performances are amazing, convincing. Really, no one is one-dimensional. Characters are real, like real people aren't either. And really, this is just such a real program, and the characters are just so well cast. And this is actually based on a book by a real life person, the real life Alex, and her struggles and what she went through. So if you watch nothing else on my recommendation, please check out Made on Netflix. It is amazing. Also this week I watched the movie There's Someone in Your House, inside your house. To be honest, I've forgotten it was that memorable. It's meh. This is a story, it's a typical teen horror movie. It's very much along the lines of I Know What You Did Last Summer, but I Know What You Did Last Summer is much better, and I'm not even a big fan of that franchise. This is someone allowing people's secrets, spreading people's secrets, and the person goes around and makes latex masks of their victims, and when they're going to kill a person, they put the latex mask of that person on them. So you always know who they're going to kill because they're wearing their face. It's just odd. This may go down well with teenagers. It was very straightforward, very simple, nothing much to think about. I didn't enjoy it at all. I just thought it was really lackluster. I just thought there was nothing new about it. The latex masks were a nice touch. They looked really good. But for us as the viewer watching it and knowing exactly, I know we try to guess who's going to be killed next, but this actually points it out implicitly because they're wearing the face of the person they're going to kill next. But I wouldn't recommend it. I give it a 2 out of 5 purely for sort of special effects, the mask, that sort of thing. I did not enjoy this one at all, I'm afraid. And finally, last night I started to watch a movie I have seen before, Death Sentence with Kevin Bacon from, I believe, 2007. This is a movie following a father who has lost his son to a gang initiation. His son is very innocently in a gas station buying, I think, a slushie or something, and a gang come along staging a fake robbery, and he is murdered in the process. It's basically a setup for an initiation for a gang member to get entry. They must kill someone, and Kevin Bacon's son is who is killed in this instance. And unfortunately, as is so often the case, he does not get justice for what happened for his son. And this is like a more violent falling down. This man, this very unassuming, normal guy, decides, I've had enough, and he sets out for revenge for his son against this gang. I have seen it before. I do know I enjoyed it when I first watched it. There is actually a new movie out this year called Death Sentence, and when I was looking it up on IMDb, the other one came up, and I can't remember that. It's got Kevin Bacon, and I love Kevin Bacon. I'll watch this. So yeah, I will finish it, but I do know that I did like it when I first watched it, so that is Death Sentence. And also I've started watching on Netflix a new Norwegian, I believe, show called Post Mortem No One Dies in Scarns. It's a very black comedic horror, and I'm really enjoying it at the moment. I'm only maybe 3 episodes in. I'm really liking the style of it. It's the comedy that I feel works really well in horror, and for me, that's a difficult, really difficult sort of thing to achieve. I think Evil Dead achieved it fantastically, and for me, What We Do in the Shadows is the one that achieved it perfectly. Shaun of the Dead, and this Postmortem is on Netflix at the moment. It is Norwegian. I would thoroughly recommend it, but at the moment I'm really enjoying it. I think it just ties together really nicely. But that, guys, I'm afraid is all I've watched this week. There just hasn't been an awful lot to watch. I've been playing the new Alan Wake game for the PS5. I believe it was an old game on the Xbox. It's been digitally remastered and re-released. So I bought that and I've been playing that this past week, so it's probably why I haven't watched that much. If you're interested, I don't particularly rate it. I think it's very, as Aaron from Screenstar said, it's very dated. I do understand that when it first came out, it must have been amazing, and like I have a real affection for Resident Evil, the first game. If you tried to play that now without a previous introduction, it would probably look pretty awful. But for me, I just have a real nostalgia for it, which I feel a lot of people will have for Alan Wake. But as a person that didn't know it the first time round, just playing it on its merits now, it's basically just following a guy around, walking lots of places. The sort of combat that you do is basically shining a torch at things and shooting them, and that's few and far between. You're just wandering about this story, picking up batteries and ammunition, and not an awful lot else. And when I'm a fan of things like The Last of Us, Resident Evil, God of War, Red Dead Redemption, I want to actually be in there and be hands-on and doing lots of things, and in this there's very little to do, and it just felt really dated and repetitive to me. So I wouldn't overly, if you're not a fan of it, if you aren't familiar with the original game, I wouldn't say rush out to buy it. Wait until it's available to download cheaper on the PlayStation. At the moment, I think I paid £25 for it on PS5, so that's kind of the price point, but I wouldn't recommend it. I have sold it immediately after I've actually played it. It's went straight on eBay and I've sold it to recoup most of my money back again. So that's what I've been watching this week. Thank you so much as always for watching. I will update you guys when the collab with another YouTuber has been done for made. I hope you will check it out because I'm sure we both have a lot to say, as we both really enjoyed the series. And there are a lot of issues within there that I think do need to be discussed in more detail. So yeah, I hope you will check that out, guys. So thanks for watching. Over and out from Lisa Loves.